Hello and welcome to the Candlelight Podcast, where I, Mohamed Abdalla, talk about different topics, including some of my favorites, which are, as you guys know, movies, martial arts, and philosophy. Let's start with this week's quote, guys. So, this week's quote actually comes from a YouTuber that I don't really watch. I just saw this one video because it was my recommended, and the title is what caught my attention. It said, the quote is literally the title of the video. Start, then learn. Don't learn, then start. YouTuber Andrew Kirby. So I don't know if he's just a YouTuber. Maybe he's a businessman as well. Maybe he does other stuff. I don't know. This is the only video I've watched of his. But so the thing is, I really like this quote. And in the video, it's only like a minute and 44 seconds. He goes on to explain, to elaborate. There is 100 steps to start a project, a business, or a YouTube channel, or whatever. And you are focusing on steps 2 to 100. That's causing you to be overwhelmed because you don't know the answer to 99 questions. So you stop. Focus on step 1. You can't figure out everything before you start. Guys, this is just so true because, I kind of have the same... This is something that I've noticed that is, that is completely normal in life. It's you start to do the thing and then you kind of have the ability to do it. You don't really, learn, then apply it and can do it. Of course, in some cases, that's the case. In some cases, that's the case. But in things like starting a business, just start the business. Have a plan, but don't, go through too much analyzing and thinking to the point that you develop what Jocko Willink calls analysis paralysis, where you're just stuck analyzing, not knowing how to answer this question that just came up in your head. Don't focus on as the quote says, the extended quote says, don't focus on the second step to the 100th step. Focus on the very first one, which is starting, and then you'll encounter those questions, those obstacles, and then you'll answer them one by one as you encounter them. Don't go around just, don't sit down and just try to figure out everything from the get-go. You won't be able to. I've noticed that, in life, like I said, and it's kind of like it's really the reason that I started this YouTube channel, this podcast. If I didn't apply this quote, I would have probably never started it because, it took me a while already to, just to kind of decide on starting it. And then once I decided to, I just sat down and was like, okay, we need some essentials here. We need to figure out the essential elements of the podcast. What's the name going to be? What's like the intro and outro going to be? What am I going to talk about? How is it going to work? What am I doing here? And then I just started. I didn't really take too much time in thinking, but how exactly should I design the logo? How do I exactly have to, put, what should I put on my about page? What should I maybe do in the, in the community part? Should I upload things every day? Should I upload things weekly, just like I do the podcast? I didn't go through, all these questions. I just kind of started, and everything is flowing by itself right now. And maybe I'm actually kind of lacking in those kind of areas where I should maybe think about more innovative things to do with my channel, maybe. But I'm doing real well so far. This is the 35th episode, guys, and I've been doing this every single week. But not every Saturday, because I missed last Saturday and this Saturday as well. So, at least Saturday for us in the UAE. So, yeah, sorry about that as well. I don't know why I just keep, pushing that further. Well, I was busy yesterday, but that's no excuse. No excuses here. If I make a mistake, I own up to it. That's how we roll. So, yeah. Guys, one thing I did this week, actually, was to finally finish the Lord of the Rings trilogy for the 4th time. I finally did it because I've watched the first 2 movies with my sisters, and then it took us a while to watch the 3rd one. It really took us a while. We just took our time with postponing it, thinking about watching it another day, and then we finally watched it. What happened was we got to the 3 hours and 20 minute mark, and then we had to stop because it was a school day, and the girls had to go to school tomorrow, the day after. And it was 3 hours long. and it still wasn't finished, the fourth movie, because we were watching the extended version. There was an hour left, an entire hour. So we watched it the next day. We finished it. And man, Lord of the Rings movies, they're just one of the best trilogies of all time, if not the best. Amazing, amazing films. Really charming, really wonderful. You know, it has a lot of heart. This is what I feel like is a big distinction between the Lord of the Rings movies and The Hobbit. The Hobbit has its own things that I feel like were better than some characteristics that were better than Lord of the Rings movies. But the Lord of the Rings trilogy just had a lot of heart, a lot of charm. You know, it really took risks with how it told its story, and yeah, the emotional depth it was able to, you know, evoke, and it's just amazing. I love the movie beginning to end, and man, what would I give to, you know, be an old man, just, you know, having all the wisdom there is on earth, just, you know, chilling at the, you know, end of my life, being an old man, and having that Gandalf pipe to smoke from. Guys, I don't smoke. I never smoked. I don't plan on smoking in the future until I reach like the retirement age of maybe 65 or 70, and then what I plan to do is, you know, just, you know, get some good green, not necessarily green, but some good stuff, and, you know, put it in a Gandalf pipe, which is, you know, the long pipe, and just, you know, sit in a grassy field somewhere in maybe Richmond, London, or something, or maybe even New Zealand where they film the movies, and just, you know, huff and puff and just enjoy as I'm listening to good music. That's something. That's one of the things I want to do in life, but it's not something I'm gonna do soon. I'm gonna do it like later in life, at the very end of my life, because, you know, that's when I've accomplished everything I wanted to accomplish, and I'm just living then. Because I can't start smoking now. I don't want to smoke. I don't want to ruin my body. I want to be as healthy as I can be. So, yeah, that's one dream I have. In the very end of my life, you know, just enjoy that in that one moment. Maybe share it with someone. You know, share it with the wife or a friend. Oh, by the way, guys, I'm not married yet. So, yeah. Yeah, with a future wife, and maybe with a friend, maybe just by myself. You know, just being there, looking back at everything that I've done, and just relaxing, you know, leaning back on a tree in a grassy field. That's one of my dreams. People have dreams of maybe starting a business or doing some whatever, and reaching superstardom or anything, but for me, it's those little moments. That's my dream, to just, you know that I did what I could do in life, that I've accomplished what I could have accomplished, in the sense that I have used my time here on earth that was given to me by God well. I used my time here well. I did the best that I could to make this world a better place for me, for my family, for everyone else. So that people, you know, whoever remembers me after I pass, when they think of me as a good man. That's like the minimum that I want. A good man. A great man would be awesome, but the minimum is a good man, and obviously you have to, if we're gonna wish, we're gonna like hope, we have to hope high. I just butchered a translation of a quote from Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. The Prophet God, Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he said something like, إِذَا تَمَنَّيْتَ فَاسْتَكْثِرْ. If you pray for something, if you ask for something, you know, ask a lot. And that's not necessarily referring to people here on earth, like I'm asking a favor of someone. No, if I'm asking from God, I'm asking a lot. So yeah, basically, if you're going to do something, do it right, do it well, aim high, you know, reach for the stars. You're at least going to touch the sky. So it's been my motto for a while, but I've been, the past 4 years, I think I've told you guys this, past 4 years, I've been misapplying, or not doing as well as I could have. It's so weird. I don't know why. It's like, in high school, I was doing fantastic, but then got into the military, and then something, like maybe my brain chemistry kind of shifted or something. I don't know. Something happened, and yeah, I was kind of shaped into being a less achieving person than I was before. Anyway, that's too much of my personal life, maybe. Maybe I'm oversharing here, but hey. And yeah, just getting started and being consistent with the YouTube channel. That's kind of been, this channel be consistently on schedule. That was difficult, and the reason it's difficult is because I have to get myself to do this. Unlike before, I think, and like I said, in my high school days, things came naturally. Like if something had to get done, it was gonna get done. It wasn't something that I had to push myself to do. It's weird. I'm not sure if I'm able to articulate it well enough, or if I even understand the situation well enough. So yeah, there's that. Let's move on to what I watched on YouTube this week, guys. So, before I talk about what I watched on YouTube, let's talk about YouTube ads for a second. Guys, YouTube ads are getting ridiculous. There are more and more unskippable ads as as time passes. And, there's like 2 or 3 ads, one after the other. It's just ridiculous. And guys, something that I will never do on this channel is have ads on this channel. I'm never going to put any ads. I'm never going to do that. I might, obviously, in video ads, maybe I'll make some, talk about some sponsors, maybe if I get some, hopefully. But I'm never going to put those YouTube ads where the video just stops randomly and then there's an ad. And because, man, it's been getting annoying, especially when I'm listening to a talk or something or a lecture at the gym and I'm actually mid-set, or I just started the set and I can't put the weights down and there's an ad on my phone that I can't skip. Now I have to go through the whole set listening to some ad about some product that I don't even care about because I'm not here for that. I'm here for the talk. So you guys, as you can see, I don't like those ads very much. And I'm not going to subject you guys to have to listen to them on this channel. Not on this channel. Not on this podcast. So, let's go on to the things that I actually did watch on YouTube. I've been watching some of YouTuber Mike Shake's videos. There's this YouTube channel called Mike Shake. This guy, he's awesome. He's doing something that I've always thought of doing but didn't do. Just because I just was like, would I even be consistent with it? That's the weird thing. I don't really start anything much. That's because it's always not like, will I be able to do it? It's like, will I be consistent with it? And I'm afraid I'm not consistent with it. But hey, if anything, this podcast has taught me that I can be somewhat consistent. So it's awesome. With the weekly work. So this YouTube channel showcases him. This guy Mike. He's making his own videos. He's an Italian guy who loves to just explore and try out new things and try to learn new skills. And every video, he's learning a new skill. Every video, it's like whatever skill you think there is. Like, he wants to learn how to backflip. He wants to learn how to, throw cards, precisely. He wants to learn how to speak a different language. He wants to know how to pick locks. Whatever it is. Whatever skill it is, he just tries to learn as many skills as he can. And man, he has a lot of videos dedicated to learning a lot of new skills, and he actually learns them. He actually was able to, perform new things that he wasn't able to do before, like parkour stuff and whatever it is. It's pretty cool. You guys should check it out. And he actually did a montage of 41 skills I learned in 1 year. Just fascinating, honestly. Give it a watch. It's pretty interesting. So, and also another thing that I watched on YouTube was I rewatched the movie Fatih 1453's ending. The movie Fatih 43, which is, translated to Conquest 1453. It's a movie about how the Ottoman Empire finally, defeated the Byzantine Empire, also known as the Eastern Roman Empire. Finally, when they took Constantinople, which is modern-day Istanbul. And that movie is just, that's an amazing film. Amazing film about an amazing historical event. So, I didn't watch the movie. I didn't rewatch the entire movie. I rewatched the ending because, I would just want to, check it out. It's like, hey, that was a good movie. Let's actually rewatch that. Because, it really happened. It's based on true events in history. And, wait, did I actually talk about the movie before? I think I might have. I actually quoted a hadith from the Prophet ﷺ, peace be upon him, about the person in the movie, which is Mohamed Al-Fatih, the main character, who is the Ottoman Sultan. So it's actually, it's a pretty good movie, and I have to rewatch it, actually. I want to rewatch it, like the whole film this time. And it's on YouTube, by the way. It's like, the entire movie is on YouTube, dubbed to Arabic, dubbed to English because the original language is Turkish, dubbed to German, dubbed to Hindi, and also with the Turkish but Indonesian subtitles. You guys could check it out. It's pretty awesome. It's a really good film. I highly recommend it. So, I guess that's pretty much what I have for YouTube this week. It's not much that I want to talk about. I've been watching the regular Mr. Beast, the regular PewDiePie sometimes, and also the regular lectures and talks and thought-provoking speeches from Hamzat Zortiz, Mohamed Hijab, and Firaz Zahabi, Sabur Ahmed, Ali Dawa, and all these amazing people. All these amazing people that, really want to help humanity, really want to help people learn the truth of our existence and learn how to, better themselves as human beings and how to make this world a better place, which is my mission in life. So, yeah, it's pretty awesome. And there's a movie I kind of rewatched that I have watched a long time ago, which was this Adam Sandler's movie, which is 50 First Dates. I was playing the board game Jackal with my sisters and cousin as the movie was playing in the background. We were kind of watching it as we were playing. So it's a pretty good movie actually. It's a pretty sad movie, and it would have been too sad if it wasn't Adam Sandler that was making the movie. Actually, you know what? His take, Adam Sandler's take on making emotional movies is an interesting one because he combines the comedy and the sadness amazingly. Scenes that are very comedic just make the other scenes that are very sad even more sad. Because the movie 50 First Dates, what is it about? It's about this girl who got into a car crash and developed a form of Alzheimer's, I think, where she forgets every day. She wakes up in the morning, forgets that she lived the day before, what she did the day before, and she still thinks that today, the day she woke up, and is still the day before. And this has been going on for months and months. She has never figured it out because she forgets every single night, basically. And so the movie is about, the Adam Sandler's character trying to, get with her, but, kind of failing, but then seeing that she's, dealing with her issue of forgetting, and then they're trying to resolve the issue. And of course, it has kind of a sweet ending, but man, is it a wild ride of emotion. Because it's really sad to see someone who has to go through that, and every day be reminded that they forgot they just forgot the months that went by, the years even, because by the end of the movie, they even have a kid together. And of course, the mother has to be reminded that this is her daughter that she had with this man who she doesn't even remember because every day her memory resets. I spoiled the movie for you guys, but it's a good movie to watch. If you like that kind of stuff, some kind of a romantic comedy, Adam Sandler, kind of sad. It's a pretty good movie. Yeah. So, yeah, that's what I have, I guess, for movies and YouTube videos, I guess, this week. It's funny. I'm talking about YouTube videos a lot these past bunch of weeks. But yeah, it's pretty cool. There's some interesting things that are on YouTube, online, on the internet that you guys should check out, that I feel like you guys should look into. It's pretty cool. It's interesting stuff. So, going into MMA news. And before starting with MMA, like last week, we should talk about MMA fighters in boxing. Last week, I talked to you guys about the disappointing fight between Tyron Woodley and Jake Paul. This week, I'm going to talk to you guys about the awesome performance Anderson Silva put on against Tito Ortiz. They fought in a boxing match, and Anderson knocked Tito Ortiz out in the first 2 minutes. He knocked him out, slept him in the first 2 minutes. Anderson Silva's boxing is so good. I didn't expect that, which is weird. Because he's in his 40s. I mean, if you told me his boxing was good in his 30s, this good, I'd believe you. Or maybe he's just not fighting the best fighters, because Tito Ortiz is not a boxer either. Or it's, because he did fight Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., and he beat him. But I guess Julio Cesar Chavez is known to be not as good as his father, who is much better. has a better legacy. But anyway, that was like the co-main event, I believe, to that card. And the main event was Vitor Belfort versus Evander Holyfield. The reason it was against Evander Holyfield is because someone pulled out. I don't remember who. Someone had to pull out. Oh, yes. It was... shoot. How did I just remember and forget his name? What's this guy's name? What's this guy? Shoot. I have to look him up. So, yeah, Belfort was supposed to fight this guy, Oscar De La Hoya. I just remember. I didn't even have to open it. Oscar De La Hoya. So he fought Oscar De La Hoya. He was supposed to fight Oscar De La Hoya, but that got canceled because Oscar got COVID, I think. And Evander stepped in. 58-year-old Evander Holyfield against a 40-something-year-old Vitor Belfort. So yeah, and the fight went... Because I don't know what to expect in boxing. I don't know, because these are MMA fighters going to boxing, and this is Evander Holyfield, a former heavyweight champion, if I'm not mistaken, who, is boxing again after all these years. So what happened was Vitor just beat Evander badly. The referee had to come in and stop it, because he just saw enough, which we all did. We saw enough. Vitor beats Evander. It was sad to see. But it was awesome to see Anderson Silva beat Tito Ortiz, because Anderson's an awesome person. People like him. We like him. We MMA fans like him. We don't like Tito as much. So that was interesting. But now getting into MMA. Oh, by the way, guys, like I said at the end of last week's podcast, it's been kind of slow for the UFC. It's not been pay-per-view after pay-per-view. It's been like, because it used to be every 3 weeks there was a pay-per-view. Now it's like almost 2 months between pay-per-views. It's so weird. There's no card this weekend. Like, there was this boxing card that I just talked about, these boxing fights, but there's no MMA fights. It's so weird, that the fact that the 2 pay-per-views are that stretched out with a few fight nights sprinkled in between. So next week is gonna be not even that good of a fight night. Excuse me. It's only 2 fights that I'm really interested in next week's card, which is Arman Tsarukyan, I think he's Armenian, yeah, versus Christos Giagos. And the reason I'm interested in this fight, because Arman had just a fascinating fight against Islam Makhachev, who, Islam Makhachev, of course, won, but Arman really put up a defense, a really good wrestling defense, to the point that Islam could not finish him. And it was a 3-round fight, went to decision. And Arman is like 22, 23 years old. He went 22 years old during that time when he fought Islam, but I think he's like 24, 25 now. He's really young, he's really talented, and I'm interested in seeing this guy's future and how well does this win age for Islam. So that's an interesting fight to look out for. And the main event for that card is Anthony Lionheart Smith versus Ryan Superman Spann. So that's a good fight for light heavyweight to see, who gets to get into the top 10. I think I'm not sure. I don't know enough about these two's. I don't watch enough of these two's fights to be able to determine who's gonna win. Well, actually, I did. I did watch it. I know I did see a bunch of their fights. I saw Ryan Spann's last fight. I watched a bunch of Anthony Lionheart Smith's fights, but I still don't know between these two who would take this, because man, Lionheart just keeps coming, even though he might lose. He just doesn't quit. And Ryan Spann, I don't know enough about him. And see, this is an indication of how weak the fight card is, kind of, because it's not as interesting as what's coming next, which is the week after that, which is the UFC 266 card. Finally, a pay-per-view with title fights. So yeah, but I'm not going to talk about that card actually right now. I'm going to keep it for next week so that there is something about MMA that I can talk about next week. Like, it's been kind of slow, guys. It's been kind of slow. But again, I've just been watching the UFC. I've not really been watching MMA as a whole, because, there's probably a bunch of other stuff going on in other organizations that I don't really care for, because I just watch the UFC. I like MMA. I like martial arts in general, mixed martial arts and martial arts. But, I don't have the time to watch every single fight in every single promotion. So, and speaking of light, since the main card is a light heavyweight fight, it kind of reminds me of Yere Prohaska. You know, the new Czech fighter that's in line for a title shot after to fight the winner of Glover Teixeira versus Jan Blachowicz. So the winner of Glover Teixeira versus Jan Blachowicz, that's gonna be an interesting fight, guys, because Jan lost to Thiago Santos, who knocked him out. Thiago Santos just lost to Glover Teixeira, who was able to withstand the barrage of punches that he unloaded on him, but he was able to get his back and submit him. It was amazing. And now it's Glover versus Jan. That's an interesting fight. We don't know what happens because Glover just also beat Anthony Lionheart Smith badly. Like, this guy is not gonna go away soon. So, well, he's like old, he's like 41, 42 years old if I'm not mistaken, and he's fighting Jan now, who's not that much younger, but still, is still like more athletic. But we gotta see what happens because you never know with Glover. He just comes back like he did in his last fight, and the fight before that. It was, Anthony Lionheart Smith being beaten down by Glover for 5 rounds. It was crazy. It was a bad fight because it should have been stopped earlier. It was a bad beating. And and then there's Yere Prohaska. This Viking-looking dude that's destroyed Dominic Reyes, who has a 96% KO percentage, I guess. Like a 96% KO win rate. When he wins, he's gonna kill you. He's not gonna just beat you by points. No, he's gonna take your head off like he did to Dominic Reyes. That fight was crazy. I rewatched it before recording this podcast, and man, that was cool. It was a crazy fight, and I actually watched it in the gym. I was in the gym, and I actually kind of want some extra motivation for leg day, and then I just put that fight on, and it was like, wow. Watching it as I was like doing leg curls. So that guy is such a character. He looks like a Viking warrior from like 1,000 years ago that's come to proclaim his stake in the UFC. It was pretty awesome. I want to see how far that guy goes. He definitely has what it takes to be a champion, but he needs to be less wild if he wants to stay winning. But at the same time, he does have 28 wins and only like 2 or 3 losses with that same fight style. So, but again, that was outside the UFC, not the best talent and competition. We're just gonna have to see what happens with this guy because, man, it's interesting. It's interesting what's unfolding right now. Not only the light heavyweight division, almost every division in the UFC. It's really cool. So, with that said, guys, this was the Candlelight Podcast by yours truly, Mohamed Abdalla. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you come back for more. And once again, start, then learn. Don't learn, then start. See you guys in the next one. Peace. That was loud.